Hey, Billsmafia, what is up? It is game day. It is time to squish the fish. Uh, we're about to start in, I guess, about an hour from now. And the Bills are going up against the Miami Dolphins. And quite frankly, I don't really expect much of a fight after last week's game against the Jets. The Jets showed a lot more promise in their first game than the Dolphins did, and well, the Dolphins are in disarray, I think. Mike McDaniel doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Tyreek Hill, nobody knows whether he wants out or not. Their offense seems to be sputtering, and their defense is non-existent. That being said, it's a rivalry game. We all know the Bills lately own the Dolphins, so yes, the Bills should win it. But the question is, is it going to be close? I don't tend to think so. The Bills really have found their stride. Putting up 41 against the Ravens in their defense, putting up sorry, I'm in traffic and somebody just cut me off, as happens in Nashville. But anyway, putting up 30 against the Jets, who, really, for all intents and purposes, should really have a good defense. They have decent personnel, so they should have a good defense. I guess they don't. But that being said, I look forward to tonight's game in terms of how the Bills are going to handle being back home after one big win, and then one win where Josh Allen didn't have a big day, and is so can he get back on track? But sometimes you don't need to have a big day, right? Sometimes you just need to let the run game do its thing, which is what happened. That being said, we're going to look at the inactives for today's game, and Matt Milano's out, Ed Oliver is out, Curtis Samuel is still out, and I just want to talk about Curtis Samuel for a little bit, but I'm wondering about his status with the Bills. Are the Bills going to cut him after the season? Kind of the way they didn't re-sign Amari Cooper. It just doesn't seem to be. It just seemed to be a mistake. Maybe not a mistake because he got hurt. But when you sign somebody, they get hurt and they just can't seem to make it back onto the field. It's a wasted energy in free agency, wasted money. But you can't win them all, right? Not everybody's going to have the same effect when you sign them in free agency. Fortunately, the Bills aren't a team that spends a lot of money in free agency. They didn't spend a lot of money on Curtis Samuel, so hopefully that'll work out. Landon Jackson is inactive today. I thought he was a good draft pick. I'm not sure about what's happening with him either. The third-round pick out of Arkansas, I thought he was going to be one of those high-motor guys that really solidified the defensive end position. Maybe not. A little positive to talk about. This week we found out that Haas, the tight end, the rookie tight end, the number 3 tight end, is ranked as the highest ranked rookie tight end in the NFL, mainly because of his blocking skills, and it's been said he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. Even at his youth, the Bills may have struck gold there. So I gotta tell you that, after that, you got the one catch. He's got a catch in each game, I believe now. But the one big catch against the Ravens. And I think that's going to turn out to be a good thing because I don't know how long the Bills are going to be able to hold on to both Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. We'll see, but at some point, the money is not going to work out at that tight end position. You can only spend but so much on a particular position, especially the tight end position. You got to have that guy, then you got to have a couple of guys behind him. You got to have the guy, and then you got to have a couple of guys behind him. But that being said, back to today's game, the Dolphins, the Bills are at home. I don't expect a contest. Maybe the Dolphins hang around for a quarter. We'll see. But I'm going to call it here. Buffalo 37, Miami 21. That's it. And I only say 21 because they've got Tyreek Hill, so maybe they'll get a couple of touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, their number 2 guy, the other really fast guy, was questionable for today's game. I don't know if he's out or not, but he was questionable. So we'll see if he shows up. If he does, he may be hampered. So that's something to watch out for. But that being said, again, Bills 37, Dolphins 21. Go Bills.